Most businesses know when a deal is closing, but they do not know when a customer is leaving. Let me take a sip of my coffee and show you exactly how you can do that in HubSpot. Yeah, I had that coffee sitting here for like the last half hour or so I really need to start drinking it now while I'm recording this video. My name is Jasper, I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and in this video I want to show you how to set up health scores in HubSpot. This is a great way to gauge how your customer health is doing, aka are they staying with the company or are they thinking of leaving the company? Is there a risk of churn? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. If this is helpful to you, give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel for more HubSpot excellence and you'll get these videos each week because I will create a video each week. Already more than 50 free tutorials on the YouTube channel. So thank you everyone for watching. Here's what we want to do. So let me share my screen and show you exactly how you can set up a health score in HubSpot. So first in the main menu, we'll go to Service and then we want to go to Customer Success. This is where you'll use this health score. So when we look at this, like here you can see health score summary and the distribution of all of your customers and their health scores. This is a demo account, so I don't have a whole lot of data here, but I'm sure you get the idea. You can also see the ones that are at risk, the ones that are neutral, and the ones that are healthy would show up here. Unfortunately, I do not have any healthy customers right now, or I really should work on that. But yeah, and then on the left-hand side, you can see the average score as well as the percentages of each of those. Here you can also see the average score over time, so you know how the business is doing in general. But without further ado, let's get into creating this actual health score. So we'll click on settings here and we'll click on health scores. Here we can see that I already set up one health score, but in this case, we're going to go to more settings and we're going to create a new one from scratch. So I'll click on create a health score. And then as you can see, HubSpot does give us a couple of options to get us started. So we can say, do we want to take one-on-one engagement into account? We definitely do. We want to take one-on-one call engagement into account. If your business does any phone calls, you probably want to add that as well. Support tickets should definitely be included, very important. CSM sentiment, I personally think this is a very important one, and I usually tend to add a lot of weight to this, because when your CSM, your customer success manager, is talking to a client and they themselves say like, I feel this client is at risk. First of all, I'm going to assume that you hire capable people. And so when your CSM thinks they're at risk, they probably are at risk. So you should take that seriously. By the way, I recently launched a brand new newsletter, HubSpot Excellence. So if you want to receive that newsletter weekly and get my best tips and tricks for HubSpot and getting to HubSpot Excellence, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. Link will be in the description. And then we can also use the NPS score as well. So we'll click here on Take Me to Setup. And here we can see where we want to use this health score. So we're just going to do all companies. And then when we go to the next step, the calculations, we can see all of these calculations. So right now we can see we have a score limit of 100 points and each of the groups is set up with 20-point limits. So let's have a quick look at these different groups. So first, one-on-one engagement. In this case, we're looking at last contacted. If it's more than 30 days ago, we want to subtract 1 point. If last contacted is less than 30 days ago, we want to add 1 point. And if the day of last meeting booked in the meetings tool is less than 30 days ago, we also want to add 1 point. Now, it's fun, like this is a default setup in HubSpot, of course, but it's of course funny that these only have like 1 point, all of them, and then we have a limit of 20 points. So you do want to like add the weights that you would like to these. So for example, last contacted is more than 30 days ago. Let's say we want to subtract 10 points. If we contacted them less than 30 days ago, we're gonna add 10 points. And if the date of the last meeting booked in the meetings tool is less than 30 days ago, let's say for meetings, we want to add 20 points. So that's for one-on-one engagements. Then for call engagements, we can see call ended is known. So that's just like there has been a call basically. Call started is inbound. We add points for that. For all of these, you really need to like look at your business and see which ones of these make most sense. But this is a pretty good way to go about it. Then for the calls, we can also see that we have a decay scores option. We have this for each group, by the way, but it's like active for calls here. And this means that we can reduce the score by, for example, 50% or a different percentage every 3 months. So for example, if there were a lot of calls 3 months ago, but then they stopped calling, the score would actually go down by 50% each 3 months. Then when we have a look at support tickets here, we can do things like time to close SLA ticket status. If this is any of overdue or SLA completed late, we're going to subtract a point. If the time to close SLA ticket status is any of SLA completed on time, we're going to add a point. So this way, we make sure that tickets are also weighed in here. And if we're always late with solving any tickets or responding to tickets from our customers, it probably is not going to make them very happy. Then we get to CSM sentiment. So this is something that's self-reported by the CSM. So whenever they have a conversation, they can update their status. And let's say if they say it's healthy, we want to add those 20 points here. If they say it's neutral, we're going to leave this at 0. And when they say it's at risk, we actually want to subtract the 20 points. This way, the CSM sentiment will have a decent amount of weight to it. And then last but not least, we're looking at the NPS score here. And in this case, we can see if the survey is any of 0 or 1, we want to subtract 1 point. Actually, if it's 0 or 1, I would say we want to subtract 20 points. If it's any of 4, 5, 6, 7, I would actually also subtract probably like 15 points at that point. And if it's a 9 or a 10, they can get the full 20 points. Now, these are just the default groups that are added in here. There are a couple of things that we can add as health as well. And especially for SaaS products, it's really interesting to also add custom events in here. So I can't really demo that very well here since obviously I do not have a SaaS platform and this is a demo account that we're looking at. But when we have our SaaS platform integrated with HubSpot, we can do something like use those events here. So let's say each time a customer uses a certain feature in your product, we will then sync that with HubSpot as an event. And we can say something like, if a customer has not used feature X for 30 days, we want to decrease the score. If a customer has used these different features in the last 30 days, we want to increase the score. And this way you can really get a good feel of the engagement that a customer has with your platform and how invested they are in the platform. If they're using all of the features and they're using them often, they're probably making good use of your tool. Another thing that we can incorporate in here is if a customer finish their onboarding, if they properly finish their onboarding. If you want to really integrate this with HubSpot, a great tool is Arrows. I'll link it down in the description. You can check that out. And another thing that we want to check here, for example, is also training. Did a customer finish their training? Did they do specific like new feature training as well? And these are all things that we can incorporate in this health score so that we can get a good idea of how are our customers doing and how likely are they to stay or to churn for that matter. And then last but not least, once we set up the different scoring in here, we want to go to the settings tab, and this is where we can choose the different thresholds. So we can say that neutral, for example, right now it starts at 50, but let's say you want to start neutral at 40. That means that from 0 to 39, a company would be at risk. From 40 to 74, that would be neutral. And then we chose here that healthy is 75 and up. So for example, if we change this to 80, then our neutral section would span from 40 until 79. So once this is all set up, your health score is good to go. You can use it in the dashboard as I had shown before. If you first want to preview the distribution, here it's not going to do very much, but this is where you would be able to see based on the scoring you set up, how do all of the accounts that you have, how are they distributed between the different scores. So that's something we can do with this option here. And if that all looks good to you, you can turn it on and your health score is good to go. And then once the health score is good to go, you can go to service and customer success, and your customer success managers will have a pretty good idea here of how everything is doing. Under alerts, they will see when a certain score has decreased, for example. So it's really front and center for them to take action on this. And yeah, this is if deal scores are a great way for sales to gauge the deals that will close, the customers that will be created. Health scores is your key to knowing which customers will stay and which customers are at risk, where you want to put in some extra effort now to make sure that they will stay with your business. Do you have some ideas of how you're setting up the health score for your business that I did not show in this video? Share it down in the comments and we can have a discussion there about different things that go into a good health score. It will be helpful for me to learn and also for everyone else in the comments. If you like this video, I think you're also really gonna love this video about the customer success workspace. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.